let's quickly get to this. I just want to do this up. We're going to talk more, obviously, about what's going on with the Biden thing. Today, Senate, House, Democrats, both meeting in separate caucus meetings. This is going to sort of give us a much better sense of what is happening in terms of the push to get Joe Biden to step aside. Yesterday, the worm turned a bit. Here is AOC. Now, we're not playing AOC because she indicates a turning of the worm per se, but it's a good jumping off point to discuss with the dynamics that are happening.
I have spoken with him extensively. He made clear then, and he has made clear since, that he is in this race. The matter is closed. He had reiterated that this morning. He has reiterated that to the public. Joe Biden is our nominee. He is not leaving this race. He is in this race, and I support him. Now, what I think is critically important right now is that we focus on what it takes to win in November, because he is running against Donald Trump, who is a man with 34 felony convictions that has committed 34 felony crimes, and not a single Republican has asked for Donald Trump to not be the nominee. I'm here to win on this democracy. I'm here to win in November. And what's critically important is what the president, I believe, that the president needs to do, and I have communicated this, what the president and the White House should do in order to make sure that we win in November. And that is making sure that we pivot and working and increasingly commit to the issues that are critically important to working people across this country. How are we going to expand Medicare? How are we going to expand Social Security? How are we going to provide relief to people's rent and mortgages? And if we can do that and continue our work on student loans, secure a ceasefire, and bring those dollars back into investing in public policy, then that's how we win in November. That's what I'm committed to, and that's what I want to make sure that we do.
What is it done right now?
Okay, so the point here, and we should say, the entire squad, I think, or at least a couple.
Well, not Rashida Tlaib, who's
Rashida
has her own reasons. But Ayanna Pressley and Ilhan Omar also said similar things, less forcefully, but similar things.
My understanding is Elizabeth Warren also yesterday came out and endorsed Biden. Him staying in the race, or at the very least, gave an indication. Did not call for him to step down. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And, as much as AOC, she was reiterating what she was told in that instance and stating it as fact. And here is the point. And, a couple of weeks ago, I got a little bit of flack for saying something to this effect, which is we don't have an ability to impact this. And on some level, I think the squad feels like they don't have an ability to impact this. In fact, they would hurt any chances of any movement because they are lightning rods and are easy to blame. This is coming down to the leadership of the House and the Senate. It is going to come down at Democrats, of course, and they're going to decide based upon what their caucuses say in private in terms of pushing Biden out. But Biden clearly has said, F you. If you want to come for me, come for me.
Yeah,
and
he said
we will blow everything up, essentially.
Mutually assured destruction is what the headline was from Semaphore on what basically he's been able to make headway on. First of all, I think you're right about the strategy. We can disagree or agree with the strategy. I mean, I think that did some harm, but clearly there's some measure of let's not polarize this with having the leftiest members, whether it be Bernie Warren in the Senate or the squad, doing this and giving anybody any excuse to make this about some sort of partisan intra-party political fight, because the reality is that it's Adam Smith, ranking member of the Armed Services Committee right now, who is vocal, and you have Quigley and other Democrats who are very establishment. Patty Murray, Senate pro tempore, stopping short yesterday in a statement of basically calling Biden to drop out very, very closely. They're trying to make this about what's happening within the caucus as opposed to, partisan progressives versus centrists, which I think has value. It's very cynical. But the point is that we're running out of time at this point.
Well, if you're going to stay silent, stay silent.
let me just say this, and then we got to go because we got to get Treaty on. We'll talk more about this more. But from her perspective, if she believes that this is such an existential election, what she needs to be able to do is be able to deliver the constituency that she is able to deliver, which is far different than the one that Quigley or these other people that are, they may be high in the establishment, but in terms of the public and the youth and
that's
minority populations, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, others are going to be crucial to help Joe Biden or whoever the nominee is. And this is if your number one prize is to make sure that Donald Trump is not president after the election on November 5th or whatever it is, 6th, then this is the smartest move for them at this point. To essentially say, look, we're interested in delivering the vote for the hardest person it is going to be for us to deliver at this point. Be easier for them to do that. And that is the agenda. That is why people want Biden out, is because they think that he can't beat Trump. But if he refuses to leave, you've got to be able to pivot very quickly to trying to drag him across the finish line. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.